Well, good day, everyone. First, let's just picture this for a moment. You know, you got a phoenix consumed by the flames, reduces to ashes. What does it mean? Well, sometimes it seems like the end. But like a phoenix, they're going to rise back up, face all the odds, use the adversity to their advantage. Obviously, they're going to come back even brighter, more radiant than ever. Isn't that the life that I live? Well, I gotta say, everyone else that comes here too, looking for words of wisdom, you've got a little bit of that inside of you too. Spark of a phoenix. It only takes a little bit. Sometimes you just gotta see how you rise above. I don't know, maybe things get you down. Some heartbreak. Maybe you think you fail. Learn something new. And of course, loss. But today, here I am to tell you those flames don't define you. In all honesty, they might shape how and mold who you might be today. But they don't predict your future. Honestly, you have the power to transform. You take the pain of these things and you turn it into a strength. You turn them into bonds. You turn to friends and ask for more. And then you rise with a purpose. You find that fire that really gets you going. First, you have to face the flames. You know, this is, honestly, the other day there I stepped into the camera and I said, you know what? Let's talk about this. Let's put it out there. The hurt that you come back with when you have something that keeps you down, like obviously having to move on from one job to another. This is a constant state of flux that I live in, and it's not a very fun place. I would much rather pick up a 9-to-5 and be able to work and be able to schedule my time appropriately. But unfortunately, life doesn't give that to me. They don't give me that option. But of course, I can't ignore it. I can't ignore how these things get me down, how they affect my mental health, how they affect everyone's mental health. Christ, no one can ignore the things that are driving you a little bit crazy. Not only can you not ignore it, but it burns like the fire that you have inside. So the whole idea that you gotta snuff out that fire, well, you need that to survive. But that's where it transforms. Can't rise until you acknowledge what's burning you. And in some ways, you gotta just let it go. Some ways you gotta reach out to a friend and say, hey, listen, I'm having a rough go. Honestly, I remember a lot of my past and rock bottom. Does that even exist? I don't even know where that would be at this point. I grew up on the streets, like I lived there for 7 months, not knowing if I had a place to sleep or knowing where food was coming from or whatever I did. Still went to school in that time, but it was a very much more complicated matter, of course. Of course. But what did that teach me? Well, it taught me that I can still be here today. That I can stand up and rise from those dark days. And know there's something more. What I have today, compared to what I had then, completely dwarfs it. I mean, hard work, a strong back, strong work ethic, and just the will to survive. That's why I'm here today. Friends, they pick me up. And I sorely thank them for that. It's immense. Well, what can you do with the pain? Well, sometimes you just got to write it down and throw it in a fire. Let it turn to ash so it could be transformed into something more. That's what I've done. I take what I've learned, put a notch in my head, and move on from it. Honestly, it makes you probably more wiser and more powerful in that sense, because you got the knowledge of what things do or who things take care of otherwise. Now, it's not magical. It's not an idea. You kind of got to take it. You take it all with a grain of salt. But you take that little tiny speck that was once there, written on that paper, and you blow it into something else. You turn it to something else. And, like me, a phoenix is going to rise from the ashes every time. Every time. You too can channel your pain to something extraordinary. We've all seen movies. We've all seen what a phoenix does. Rising back up, they molt. They get down and out. They get depressed. But then they come through it on this other side. Alive, resilient, and just wanting to show more. Honestly, Phoenix doesn't wait for permission to rise. They just do. But at the same time, that's the message that every one of you should take. If you've got a chance, if you've got something bugging you, get rid of it and move on from it and let it rise and let it do something more. Ignite that fire. Because when that fire ignites, it is more powerful. It is more enlightening than sitting there and dwelling on the problems of yesterday. And then be like the phoenix. Celebrate the rebirth. Celebrate it and go forward with it and do something more. Let your wings spread. Let them soar to new heights. And, of course, stand and be who you are. Don't be ashamed of it. That's something I've had to deal with in the last little bit. I'm not scared to sit here in front of the camera. Christ, I've done so many IRL streams. This is more fantastical, more giving, and you can do some wondrous things. Honestly, you deserve to honor any progress that you make in life. I went from living on the streets to where I am today. Where I am with the family. Yeah, we've had our hardships. We've had our hardships. Our kid, he is so resilient. I'm impressed. He was born super early, but that's not the point of this. It's the fact that I'm still standing here today saying, pick yourself up, get yourself at it, and do something more with yourself. Just maybe that pain, it was keeping you down, keeping you in bed or something like that. Well, at that point, maybe getting out of bed, that's the win for the day. You take the small things in stride. Honestly, probably the hardest part is trying to forgive yourself. Trying to forgive the little things that you've done to yourself and letting them move on. Turning that pain that little bit of suffering into something more. Changing it from a negative to a positive. It means doing the extra things. So, here's a challenge. Here's a challenge anyone seeing this video right now. Get some candles or something like that. Maybe sit there, or even with a piece of paper. You could do the same thing. Write down or bring the thoughts to your head that you need to let go. Light that candle and snuff it out. Or take that piece of paper, crumple it up and throw it away. Let the lesson be. You've learned something from it. Now stand up and be something more. So friends, you need to rise. Rise with the power and the purpose. And let the world see your wings. Anyway, thank you very much. Have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am your proud Canadian Phoenix Cindershadow. I'm going to sign off here, and I will see you again very soon.